Hey guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Hal here, bringing to you more random content from this side of cyberspace. How y'all doing, pals? How y'all doing? And also, heck yeah, 7 stream streak. Let's frickin' go! Oh no, I've been hit with a Catboyinator. No! We're playing NECROBARISTA. God damn it, that's pretty good. Nice pun. God damn it, the true pun masters are always in my chat. How y'all doing, pals? How y'all doing? I can see as well, yeah, Jay, today is your day off, and I sure do hope that you are enjoying your day off. You are knowing, you are reconnecting with your unemployed roots. Oh boy. Yeah, I just want to do a little bit of chatting first before I get back and get into NECROBARISTA, because Lord, it's been a tiring day. I've just been on the field more and more lately. Thank God I always do have like sunscreen inside my car, and if I didn't, I feel like I would have been burnt to a crisp by now. Don't remind me, I don't want to go back. Ah, I see. Well, well, regardless, sure do hope that you enjoy your day today, Jay. Goodness. What a day to start off, by the way. So the thing is, my day today was, I don't know how to explain it, my guy. Because today, imagine this, alright? Imagine this, when you wake up, you leave your room, the first thing that you see is the number one thing that you fear. Alright? Imagine that. Like, imagine your number one fear just greeting you as soon as you leave your bedroom. That is exactly what happened to me earlier this morning. Because apparently we have an at-home nurse currently here at the house, taking care of our just assisting our my grandma, because my grandma now lives right next door, like right next to the room beside mine. They've called the nurse's service. They've asked for the nurse to draw some blood for some blood tests, because my mom and dad, they need their blood. They regularly need to have their blood tests. So the thing is, though, my dad backed off in the very last moment, and now there was like a free slot that they've already paid for. So the thing was, as soon as I woke up, I found the nurse in the hallway with a syringe, my number one fear, and she was like, oh, this, ito si Sir, pwede. It's like, why doesn't Mr. Hal here take the place of Papa Naros? And I'm like, wait, what? So, like, the very first thing that I had to do today was to have my blood taken. It was terrifying. I still haven't had my morning coffee. I still haven't had anything. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, they took my blood to run some tests. And it was later today that I found out that I am lacking in vitamin D. So take that as you will, pals. Does it mean that I need more D in my life? Probably. Vitamin D, I mean. But yeah, I am sorely lacking in vitamin D, and I should get something done to address that. I should really do something about that immediately. Today I found out I need more D in my life. Vitamin D. I'm sorry. Why do I always exclude the word vitamin? It's a very important word there. But yeah. it's very unfortunate. Other than that, yeah. I've been I've been like on the field today. I've like went to what 3-4 project sites today. It was a very sunny day. It was very hot, and thank God I had a bottle of water, very cold water, and a what is it, like some sunscreen on in my car. Oh Lord, that was insane. It was pretty fun as well, because one of the project sites I had to go up to the like roof deck of the building. It was like a four-story building, and I had to go to the roof deck just so I could do some inspections on some bits at the top. And the way you can access the roof deck is, well, by a maintenance ladder. And it's just pretty funny that whenever I now have to climb a maintenance ladder or any sort of long ladder, I can't help but like but just start humming or start like mumbling, "What a thrill in the darkness." Na, na, na. What a thrill. It's like I was just humming or mumbling to myself while I climbed the ladder. And then one of my workers who's like helping me, you know, who's tagging along with me, they look back at me and like, "Did you say something, sir?" I'm like, "No, nothing." I didn't say anything. Don't worry about it. Boy. It's pretty fun though. At least there's a way that I can get my steps in. You know, it's not just me sitting down at the office all day. Goodness. Yeah, is there anything else? I don't know, I just want to yap about my day. It's been, yeah. Oh, right. One other fun thing that I found out is that apparently a few of my friends from a particular Discord server apparently has this thing going. What is it? There we go. Has this thing going on for them. It's called Voice-Over-Tober. And they have like some prompt schedules, and sadly I've already missed like the first 2 weeks, but I found out this week's set of what do you call it? This week's set of prompts, and it kind of piqued my interest. There we go. Currently we are at week 3. I sure do hope that you pals can see that properly. It's these three prompts are extremely cursed, and for some odd reason, even though I had not I was not paying attention to this at all, I had inadvertently made a script for one of these three prompts. To be clear, I don't have to do in the prompt. I mean, for the event thing, you don't have to do all 3 of them. You just gotta pick one. For some odd reason, I had already written something up for. I've already written something up for the third week, and honestly, I think I just want to do it. I just want to get it out of my chest. Honestly, I feel like I just want to get it out of my chest before I start playing tonight. Should I just? I feel like I maybe, you know what? Maybe I should just like record it now. before we start the game. You know what? Screw it. Let me do a quick recording. Where is it? There it is. I should do this now. Because not too many people are in stream right now, or listening in on the stream right now. So if we're doing it live, heck yeah. Screw it, we're doing it live. You know what? Screw it, yeah. Because another rather interesting thing that's been happening to me over the few weeks is that I know I've been reminded that I can actually do some voice acting. I was reminded that I can actually do some voiceovers and a little bit of voice acting. And you know what? It gave me a little bit more confidence, and I am reminded that I should practice. I should keep practicing. Where is it? Yeah, I think this is it. Let's see, let me check if you pals can hear this. Testing, 1, 2, testing. All right, so the question is, where is this coming from? Where is this? No, not you. How about... yeah, this is us doing it live. How about now? Testing, 1, 2, testing. Yeah, I think you pals should be able to hear that, right? Alright, let me just get a little bit of water. This is a... This is a low effort... This is going to be a low effort shitpost, so don't expect too much from it. Just want to get this out of my chest because I don't know what came over me. I wrote something and then I found out that I could use it for as the prompt for this week. So let's begin. The insolence of you younger races, thinking that you can challenge us ancients. It seems that my prior warnings have been disregarded. So let me reiterate in a language that you can comprehend. Lol, Lamau, even. You think that your Skibbity Ohio ass has a chance to outmog me, a throat goat who has spent the last millennia looksmaxing? Newsflash, you risless gooner, you're gonna fall off, and I'll be there, standing over your sad little body, like the Sigma that I am. No cap, for real, for real. Now be gone. Child, leave and never come back. Okay, that's it. All right, that was... So, brain rot. That's the prompt for tonight. Thanks, I hate it. Lord. Okay, don't think I'll ever do that ever again. Oh, there we go. That is very loud. Why do I do this? Why am I embarrassing myself in front of like people on the internet? Do I have no self-respect? Is this what happens when when you have nothing to live for? The insolence of you younger races, thinking that you can challenge us ancients. It seems that my prior warnings have been disregarded.
So let me reiterate in a language that you can comprehend. Lol. Lemao, even. You think that your Skibbity Ohio ass has a chance to outmog me, a throat goat who has spent the last millennium looksmaxing? Newsflash, you risless gooner, you're gonna fall off, and I'll be there, standing over your sad little body, like the Sigma that I am. No cap. For real, for real.
I hate it.
Now be gone, child. Leave, and never come back.
Alright, that's it. Saved, and I don't know if I will post it, but hey, pals, at least you know that this exists. That is going to go into a box, and I will decide later whether or not I'm gonna open it. Alright, so that's about it. That's enough shenanigans for tonight, NECROBARISTA, and, you know, let's go on out and start playing, shall we? Where the hell is NECROBARISTA? There you are. And there we go. Yippee! We're back at it again with this game. Oh yeah, something that I found out apparently is that something that I found out recently about this game is that the music for this game, I believe, was made by. Wait, let me double check if my sources are correct. I believe it is Kevin. Yeah. Okay, so the person who made the music for this game, which are absolute bangers, by the way, is none other than Mr. Kevin Penkin. Kevin Penkin is what is it? The guy who made like music for, I don't know, Made in Abyss. Yeah, that's it. Made in Abyss, Bye Bye Earth, and wait, really? Apothecary Diaries even? Oh, I did not know that. But yeah, pretty interesting. And you know what? Checks out. It absolutely checks out. It's a pretty neat thing to find out as I was listening in. So let's just continue our game, shall we? What is up with the loading? Excuse me? Game? Please? Oh, there we go. This shouldn't be a depressing memory for any of us. Doodle mode is now available. You can now speak to Ashley to access doodle mode. Ah, interesting. Oh, what a mood, the second floor. I kind of forgot that this is where we ended last stream. I love it. Let's see. Oh, darts. Pretty neat. Oh, this is such a... Oh. Maddie's inbox, alright. But wait. Oh, this is so cute. I love this nook right over here. Yeah, it's perfectly sized, I believe. Kind of unfortunate though that Maddie's laptop here is blocking the view for a full view, but yeah, I like this. You know, if I if I would go out on a date to in a cafe and I would find a seat like this immediately, I'm claiming it. I love that. It looks so cozy. There's this sense of like being, I don't know, intimacy in, if it's just going to be in this sort of area. A little bit enclosed, but not too enclosed, you know? I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, probably not here because there's a ladder and people are probably going to be like climbing up looking for books or something, but yeah, it's pretty neat. Well, let's read Maddie's inbox. Jean Bean? From Jeanette Annette. Jean Bean, 19 at yahoo.com. Oh, I can hear the music. Spirit Beacon Leaking. January 25, 2014. I love this song. I love it. Hi, Madeline. This is Jeanette from the location down by the docks. I believe we met in person for the first time last month. I was opening up this morning and noticed that most of our spirit juice was gone. I checked the map and saw that you're the nearest location with a spirit beacon. I think you may have drained some of our supply. Honest mistake, I'm sure. But if you could stop running your spirit beacon during peak hours, that would be much appreciated. Thanks, and looking forward to working with you in the future. Jeanette. Oh. Subject, regarding spirit beacon leaking. Oh no, 4 days later. Hi, Madeline. Hope you got my previous message. Just wanted to give an update on the spirit juice situation over here. I had several bottles I marked last night just to confirm the issue, and when I got in this morning, the levels were below where I marked them. Oh no. We're definitely losing spirit juice, and you're the only spirit beacon close enough to be affecting us. Please modulate your use to reasonable levels. I don't think this should be a problem as long as you're not running your beacon overnight. Again, not trying to assign blame here, but please be considerate to folks at other locations. Thanks, Jeanette. Oh no, there's a third follow-up email. Oh no, this is horrible. I just realized the name of the place is Terminal Velocity. Oh, that's a pun and a half right over there. I like that. I like that a lot. We're draining spirit juice over here so fast that if I sit and watch, I can see them disappearing from the bottle. That is even remotely close to where we are, so we really need you to stop. If it's affecting us, then it's probably affecting other locations. This is completely unacceptable. Fix this now. And there's gonna be a fourth follow-up. A month later. Not really a month, but like a week, a few days later. Can you explain why you weren't at the terminal today when I showed up? I spoke with a girl named Ashley who said you decided to take the day off. What a coincidence. I was not impressed by the crying routine you had her do. Honestly, you should be ashamed of using a child's fake tears to try and hide from a situation that you caused. Turn off your beacon. I don't want to be the bad guy here, but if you don't do something, I'm going to have to get the council involved. Oh, Clarence. Cutlery? Cuddlery? What do you mean? Cuttlefish? This is Clarence from the docks location. Just wanted to give you a heads up. This morning we found out that the site manager we recently hired was leaving spirit juice in untempered glass bottles, and we had a bit of a leak. We ended up having a bit of a problem with some animated cutlery. Of the situation, under control over here, and we're most likely sure everything is accounted for in our end. Unfortunately, this started happening about a week ago, which might be enough for something to wander off far enough that we won't be able to detect it. Very unlikely that this happened, but oh god. But just in case, we wanted to give you a heads up in case a possessed steak knife wandered off far enough to find your beacon and decides to pay you a visit. Sorry about this situation. Rest assured that the person responsible for this won't have any opportunities to mess up anything of this magnitude again. By the way, are you planning on going to M's birthday next month? Regards, Clance. Maddie. Oh hey, Maddie finally replied. Maddie Shao. That's her name. Sorry I missed your message earlier. I no longer use this address. Please use contact at Terminal Velocity for anything related to terminal business. Hope you enjoyed him's birthday. I don't remember why I couldn't attend, but I'm sure it was a good reason. Aw, Maddie. God damn it. What a situation. They're blaming it all on you. They're screaming at you at your email. It turns out you never really... But it turns out, A, it's not your fault, and B, you don't even use the email anymore. So stupid. What a situation. Oh boy. Alright, whatever. What's up with this one? Here. Oh god, it's this song. Maddie was washing her hands when Ashley poked her head around the corner. Here to confess something, or here to ask for something? Thought Maddie to herself as she dried her hands and turned to face the girl. The grin on Ashley's face confirmed that it was the latter. Maddie arched an eyebrow and turned to the coffee grinder. Ashley stepped around the corner and stood close enough to Maddie to occupy her field of view. Every time Maddie turned, Ashley again repositioned herself. She was waiting for Maddie to notice her. After a minute, Maddie decided that having Ashley hovering around her was more distracting than indulging whatever it was she wanted to talk about. What do you need, Ashley? I don't need anything, said Ashley. Though now that you mention needing things, I think you might need something. Oh? Such as? An advisor! Ashley smiled triumphantly as she delivered the word. Aha! And what would I need an advisor for? To advise you, of course! Nice, and I suppose you have a suggestion for who I should take on as an advisor. Well, now that you mention it, I'm not too busy. I could be your advisor. Because you're an expert on... advising! That's what an advisor needs to know about. And what makes you an expert on advising? I've been learning a lot about advisors. They get to help make important decisions, and then the person they're advising has to take responsibility for them. That's why I'd make a good advisor. Because you don't want to take responsibility for your actions. I take responsibility for my advice. But if someone follows my advice, then that's their decision and their responsibility. Oh my Jesus. I don't think I need an advisor, said Maddie. Oh, but you do. Aren't you always complaining about how busy you are? So busy that I don't have time to have extra counseling sessions with you. I'm not going to be your counselor. I'm going to be your advisor. A counselor counsels and an advisor advises. Jesus Christ, this is logic that cannot be beat. Of course. Busy people always seem to have advisors. The Prime Minister has advisors. Presidents too. All the most important people have advisors. Their advisors tend to be more experienced than they are. Advice travels from those who have it to those who need it. Well, I'm doing fine, so I don't need advising. But you could do with some advising, and I'd be happy to give you all the advice I've got. Plus, you're more important than I am. You're kind of like the Prime Minister of the terminal, or the President of the terminal, or whatever. The kind of person who needs advisors. So stupid. So, am I hired? You already have a lot on your plate, I'm sure. I've got lots of time. I got lots of time free. In that case, you have time to wash those dishes for me. Let me know when you're done. I'm only free to advise. I'm physically fatigued from a long day of work. Only my mind has extra processing power. I can only help you if it's by advising. Well, advising has physical responsibilities associated with it, right? Like sometimes an advisor will go to places to get important information. I can do anything that relates to giving you information. I need you to give me a report on which of these plates looks best when it's sparkling clean. But they're all dirty right now. Exactly. Time for you to do some investigative research. See ya. God damn it. Is this what it feels like to have Is this what it feels like to have a younger sister? I'll never know. I don't have one. I'm the youngest. So, Billiards. Can I go downstairs? Caution, cleaning in progress. Oh no, Ashley! What are you doing with the little guy over there? Oh wait, let's what? Delicate operation. Oh hey, nice view. Ashley stepped behind the counter and winced as the floor creaked under her feet. I liked that. Yeah, I kind of liked how that sound came up after I said feet. Yeah, it's that sound. Maddie was nowhere to be seen, but Maddie did possess a remarkably sharp sense of hearing. Luckily, the cafe was empty as Ashley tiptoed to the case where Maddie kept the baked goods. Ashley lifted the glass lid off the case and closed her eyes as the scent of yesterday's Lamingtons wafted up and overwhelmed her. Ashley had spent most of her life convinced that she didn't like coconuts, but that had changed the day that Che introduced her to Lamingtons. What the heck is a Lamington? To be fair, Ashley still wasn't sure that she actually liked coconut. Chocolate frosting could make anything taste good, but she couldn't deny the cake's irresistible allure. Ashley lifted the Lamington from the case and gently set the lid back down. She raised the Lamington to her lips and opened her mouth to take a bite. Ashley? Uh-oh. In a moment of panic, Ashley shoved the pastry into her mouth and sealed her lips. Her mouth was quickly overwhelmed by the pastry's thick frosting covering, and she did her best to choke it down before turning to face Maddie. Said Ashley, hoping that her cheeks didn't betray what was inside. Ah, good, you're here. It was a bad sign anytime Maddie expressed pleasure at seeing Ashley. Normally, Maddie wavered between being annoyed by Ashley's presence and being indifferently tolerant of her. Anytime Maddie was happy to see Ashley, it meant work. I need you to deliver to Che for me. Deliver something to Che, said Maddie, turning to the counter to pick up a small bottle of something. As Maddie turned her attention to the bottle, Ashley took advantage of her momentary distraction to gulp down the remainder of the pastry. No time to chew. Her teeth wouldn't have done much good with the thick frosting. You're not busy, are you? Ashley shook her head no. The pastry was no longer inside her mouth to create a conspicuous bulge of her cheeks. But opening her mouth would reveal the thick chocolate frosting that was still probably present on her teeth. So she kept her lips sealed. Good. He's upstairs, and get this to him ASAP. She handed the bottle to Ashley, and Ashley found herself surprised by how light the bottle was. Looking down, she could see that the bottle had thin walls. Within those thin walls, it contained some clear liquid, and its seal was held in place with a metal clamp, hermetically sealed. Ashley turned toward the stairs, holding the neck of the bottle in one hand, and let out a sigh. One last thing. Ashley swallowed her sigh with a gulp, closed her mouth before facing Maddie, lips tightly shut. Be careful not to drop it. Thousands could die if you spill any of it. In any other situation, Ashley would have asked Maddie a probing question to figure out what was in the bottle, or get some idea of the significance of the task that had been assigned to her. Significant enough that thousands of lives held in balance, but apparently not important enough for Maddie to do it herself. She merely nodded and turned around. Lamingtons were not meant to be consumed in a single bite, especially by mouths as small as Ashley's. The thickness of the frosting that lingered in her mouth and throat made her desperate to ask for some kind of a drink, but she dared not to ask for one. Ashley looked down at the bottle, unsure of the best way to carry it. The bottle was slightly too large for her to hold in just one hand, and grasping it in front of her with two hands felt awkward. The bottle wasn't heavy, but Ashley's confidence in her ability to carry the bottle without dropping it was less than perfect. Should she cradle it under her arm protectively? No, that seemed like it put her at greater risk of fumbling the bottle. The crook of her elbow wasn't as dexterous as her fingertips. She settled for carrying the bottle with one hand placed under the bottom to hold the weight, and the other hand wrapped around the neck to steady it. Ashley walked slowly with the bottle as she ascended the stairs. Maddie hadn't told her the liquid was volatile. The bottle was hermetically sealed, so there was zero chance of anything spilling out. But that didn't change the sense of trepidation Ashley felt. Armed with the knowledge that there were potentially thousands of lives at stake, she cringed every time she saw the liquid sloshing inside the bottle, leaping up and lapping at the edge of the seal. Ashley realized her arms were shaking and pressed the bottle against her chest, hoping to steady it. As Ashley's hands shook nervously with the bottle held against her chest, she wondered if the large amount of sugar she had just forced down her throat had something to do with the shaking. It was more likely that her shaking was the result of being told that thousands of lives could be lost if she dropped the bottle. Still, the lingering taste of the pastry in her mouth didn't help. Ashley silently lamented the fact that she had been forced to consume the lamingtons so abruptly. Lamingtons were a treat to be savored, not shoved into one's mouth in a moment of panic. She hadn't even had the chance to properly enjoy it. It was hard to simultaneously feel the pleasure of a tasty treat and the panic of being caught. Whatever the outcome of this errand, she had wasted a wonderful pastry. Several agonizing minutes later, Ashley arrived at the top of the stairs and spotted Che standing at the handrail. As she walked up, Che turned to face her, and she presented him with the bottle. Ashley cleared her throat of any lingering stickiness before speaking. "Maddie said you needed this." "Ah, good. I was running low." Ashley gasped with relief as Che took the bottle from her and started taking deep, labored breaths, suddenly becoming aware of how high her heart rate was. Oh? Che popped open the seal on the bottle and splashed some of it on a rag. Several drops dripped onto the floor, and Ashley let out a terrified squeak. "Something wrong?" Maddie said that thousands of lives could be destroyed by what's in that bottle." "Well, that's the idea," said Che, as he folded the rag and ran it along the railing that overlooked the cafe's ground level. "This is supposed to kill 99.9% of all bacteria. That still leaves several hundreds of bacteria alive, but I try not to think too hard about that part." Stupid. Ashley's jaw dropped. "It's disinfectant?" "Yeah. Why? Did Maddie not tell you?" Ashley's shoulders slumped in a mix of relief and exasperation. "She only told me that it could kill thousands." "You didn't ask what she meant by that?" "No, I was preoccupied." "Huh." He turned his attention back to the railing, inspecting it for a moment before continuing to wipe it. Ashley turned to head backstairs. "By the way, Ashley?" He reached out and placed a finger on her shirt, wiping off a bit of frosting. He raised it to his finger and smelled it. "Chocolate?" "Yes." "One of Maddie's lamingtons?" "Yes." Che nodded and licked the frosting off his finger. "Go downstairs and bring one up for me too, will ya?" Oh, bless. I like that. Personally, this is like really something that I really do love. I am a sucker for slice of life anime, or not really anime even, like anything in general. I just really love slice of life, and these little stories here, the two stories that we've read, it's a really neat slice of life thing for whatever goes on for the people in this cafe. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see, what else do we have here? Nope, nothing. Let's sprint over to the other side. Oh, little door here. Pretty neat. Oh, the fisherman. All right, we've got plenty of stories to read. All right, I gotta get into setting up a comfy sitting position for this one. Oh, you heard that? Ugh. Brad took a sip from his beer. It was non-alcoholic, but there was something about the dry aftertaste that kept him frosty. He leaned over the table and lined up his next shot. He eyed the problematic 9-ball in the upper right corner. He had a low percentage shot on it if he elected to bank it in, but he had 2 other stripes in the lower left to set it up. If he had an audience, he'd go for the bank shot for sure. He liked the chance to shine. But today, there was no one to impress. No audience. No audience for flashy, low percentage shots. He took 2 shots on the 11 and 12, and 3 shots later sunk the 9. An easy shot at the 8 sealed the deal, and Brad scanned the table. 4 solid balls remained. A dismal performance on his part. Or a stellar performance on the part of the stripes player. That was the problem with playing against yourself. You always won, but you always lost too. Hey, let me just adjust my microphone real quick. Brad chugged the remainder of his beer and added it to his collection of empties. He took a moment to survey the room. His table was the only one of the 4 that was in use. That didn't come as any surprise to him. It was early in the evening, and he had grown accustomed to spending time alone in this room. He knew when he could come here to be alone, and when the other sharks showed up. Brad grabbed the triangle. It was looped around his collection of beer bottles to set the balls in order for another round. Someone came up the stairs, and Brad looked up briefly, long enough to see a woman who he recognized as the dour-faced barkeep who had served him the beers that had kept him company for the past hour or 2. Several steps behind the woman, he saw an older-looking man. The man stopped in front of the table opposite Brad's and began chalking up his cue. Brad directed his attention to the man. He usually offered people a game when they came up, but the man seemed prepared to keep to himself. So Brad said nothing and tried to focus on his own table. He set up to break, and the older man coughed as he shot. He hit the cue ball just a fraction of a degree off. It bounced off the rack into one of the side pockets as the rest of the balls jostled around the table. Stink. Brad didn't swear when playing. His earliest experiences with competitive billiards has been in an environment that forbade obscenities and issued foul penalties every time he let out an involuntary shit or fuck. He'd had to find cleaner substitutes. Break. Came the sound from the old man's table. 2, 3, 4. Brad put down his break cue and picked up the leather-tipped cue that was leaning against the table. 5, 6. Brad chalked his cue, trying to avoid the tilt from his bad break. 7, 8. He lined up to shoot, and realized that the man was already finishing his balls out of the pockets and collecting them in the triangle. Brad did a double take. Had the man sunk the 8-ball after 8 strokes, including break? Brad continued playing in his own table, but kept an eye on the older man this time. It happened again. Break. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7, 8. A perfect clean sweep. As the old man began clearing the table, Brad walked over. "Excuse me," he said. "I couldn't help but notice you just hit 2 perfect games." "What's that?" What's that? The man turned to Brad, squinting at him. Brad repeated himself a bit louder this time. "I was just complimenting you on your 2 perfect games. Impressive stuff." The man heaved his shoulders. Sometimes you get a bit of luck on your side." "Nero, hello, welcome to the stream. How are you doing?" "Don't hit me with that. Hit me with that. What emote is that?" Nero Mog. God damn it. Thank God you weren't here earlier. You could have heard some some seriously heinous crap. How are you doing, Nero? How are you doing? So, you don't see novices hitting 2 consecutive perfect games. The man offered another ineffectual shrug. Do you want to play a game?" Brad gestured to his own table, which was already set up. "Most of the people who come around here tend to be novices. I've been itching for a bit of competition." Brad paused, but the man said nothing. "Of course, if you'd prefer to play on your own table, I don't mean to intrude." "Doing good, just chilling right before stream." "Oh, heck yeah, my guy. Yeah, I'll be sure to catch your stream, if I can, after this." "Yeah, sure do hope you're doing great as well." "We can play. Though if I can shoot perfect a 3rd time, you won't get to." "I'd be impressed if you could pull that off." The older man racked the balls and stepped away from the table to let Brad break. Brad leaned over the table and took several practice strokes before finally connecting with a cue ball. The break was weaker than he had expected, but he managed to sink 1 ball. He looked at the table annoyed and realized that he hadn't bothered to check if the rack was frozen before he broke. His next shot was a straight into the middle pocket. He briefly visualized the trajectory of the cue ball in his mind. It would easily knock the 6th ball in, and then bounce towards the front of the table. Brad wasn't confident of where exactly the ball would stop, but he was confident that he'd be able to do something with it. He took the shot, and the 6th ball went in. Solids. Ah, yes, balls. Absolutely. After the cue ball settled, found himself with no good options. Brad smiled. Making something out of nothing was his specialty, and after a few moments of eyeing different angles, he settled on a shot towards one of the bottom pockets. A striped ball was in the way, so Brad hit the cue ball several degrees to the side, curving its trajectory around the enemy ball. It hit the solid 3 ball, and the shot was made. Brad looked at the man, hoping for some kind of reaction. The man's mouth remained a flat line, but his eyebrows arched. If anything, the man's lack of obvious expression struck him as a deliberate attempt to not show a response. That he had managed to get a slight rise out of the old man felt like sweet victory. Brad made his next shot quickly, an easy straight-in shot on the 2 ball, made without thinking about where the cue ball would land. That was a problem for future Brad. And several seconds later, present Brad found himself scolding past Brad for putting him in such a foul position. God damn it, I like that. He was corner hooked. With the cue ball trapped next to the corner pocket, the only angles available to Brad existed in a 60-degree arc. He surveyed his limited options and breathed a sigh of relief as a relatively straightforward bank shot presented itself. It was an awkward angle, but he knew he could coax the 3 ball into the opposite corner pocket. He took the shot, watching as the 3 ball rolled compliantly into its designated pocket. Unfortunately, the cue ball went with it, ending Brad's turn and placing the ball in the man's possession. Stink. Brad could have sworn the man winked at him as he fished the cue ball out and lined up a simple shot on a side pocket. The 9 went in, then the 11, and the 12. Brad found himself taking it for granted that each striped ball would enter its designated pocket, and instead focused on the cue ball. Somehow the cue ball always wound up in a position that presented the oldster with the ideal chip shot. Ball after ball fell off the bed, until finally, only the black 8 ball, Brad's solids, remained. Fortunately for Brad, the 8 ball and the cue ball were at opposite sides of the table, with several of Brad's in between. The man eventually gave up and settled for a defensive shot that put the cue ball behind the 8. Ball after ball. Yeah, you could yeah, I could clip it and take it as a what is it? As some audio samples. Sure. Now the tables were turned. Brad was the one cut off from his balls. God damn it. Brad was the one cut off from his balls. He lived for shots like this. He took the shot. The cue ball hit the 8, and the 8 hit the 1. The 1 hit the 7, bouncing it against the front of the table and into one of the side pockets. Brad couldn't help his smile. Things couldn't have gone better even if he'd planned them. Instinct and muscle memory did what his calculating mind couldn't. Now that the table was conveniently free of striped balls, Brad had no trouble sinking the remaining consecutive shots he needed to close out the game. As Brad lined up the final shot on the 8 ball, he studied the older guy. If the man was reacting, he couldn't tell. Brad closed his eyes as he completed the final stroke, as he always did. He wasn't really religious. He'd stopped going to church with his mom when he was 12, but it always felt right to leave the result of the game to God. Damn, said the old man as the 8 ball fell into its pocket. Brad flinched. He'd been hoping for some praise for the man for winning. Perhaps a damn was all that man was prepared to offer. Excuse me, but I don't think we bothered to exchange names. I'm Brad. Thomas. The old man extended a hand. Gotta say, you're quite a player. I take it you're not from around here? No. I grew up in Brisbane, retired in Sydney. I'm just passing through. Brad nodded. I figured. I actually grew up in this neighborhood. Playing on the tables just like these when I was a kid, so I know most of the folks on the local competitive circuit. I guess someone like you would have to play competitively, huh? You don't pick up skills like that in a tiny pond. You'd be surprised. A man can accomplish quite a bit when given enough idle time. But you have played competitively. I used to, yes. I actually formally retired many years ago, but kept a table at home for practice, to keep my mind sharp. Where did you compete? Oh, I toured in England. Wait, you were a pro? Pro makes a salary. I won enough to cover my travel expenses, and make up for the time I spent not working a real job. Brad couldn't hide his excitement. Wait, you said England. Did you ever play in the World Billiards Championship? Did you meet Efren Batat Reyes? Yep, I played the WBC for a few years, but eventually I decided the title was a summit I'd never reach, so I quit. Wait, you said your name was Thomas, are you Thomas Walsh? Indeed I am. You're a legend. I think you might be overstating it. Even when I was at my prime, I wasn't the best. Results speak for themselves. Nah, fuck that. You were a finalist for 6 years running. Nobody's ever been that consistent. Even the best pros managed to run hot burn out after more than 2 or 3 years. I've spent hundreds of hours watching your videos. I didn't realize there were videos of me. I have tapes of the finals from 1967 and 68. They didn't record them before that, but your last 2 games got recorded for posterity. They're kind of rarities at this point, but I had a coach who had a vault of old footage. Coach? Yeah, you didn't have a coach? We mostly just taught ourselves, and each other. Sometimes you got to practice with people better than you, but that was it. Well, I mostly taught myself. But after I started winning some regionals, I joined a team so that I could get sponsored and have a group to train with. Interesting. Brad waited for Thomas to question further, but no question came. He decided to continue without an invitation. I won the WBC in 2012. No luck since then, I take it? Well, yeah. I've never been a consistent player. Not like you, anyway. My mom had an album full of article clippings talking about me like I was some kind of prodigy. The next big thing. Now it feels like I'll forever be a footnote in history. Brad waited for the words of affirmation to come from his hero. Thomas just took another drink from his glass, finishing it off before setting it down next to Brad's empty bottles. Can I get you a drink in exchange for another game? It would be a real pleasure. Sure. Give me a Guinness. Actually, make it 2. Brad sprinted down the stairs and returned several minutes later with a tray bearing 2 pints of Guinness. Thomas began setting up the table for the next game, Brad hovering over him. You know, this place is pretty magical. Getting to play a game of pool like this. He wasn't quite sure how to say it, but figured Thomas knew what he was getting at. I mean, this is the sort of place where anything can happen. Know what I'm saying? Not anything. There are limits. Well, yeah, but still 2 former champs, one coming back from, well, beyond the grave, so to speak. That's not the kind of encounter you'd expect to have anywhere else. Thomas looked at him. Magical indeed. When I walked up here, I didn't realize that you were, well, let's just say I don't meet a lot of pool pros at bars. You want a break? Sure. Brad broke, and this Heinz, guided by instinct, managed to sink 5 balls consecutively. Like magic, his shots always connected. Some people might buckle under pressure, but Brad's performance always seemed to rise to the occasion. With just 2 striped balls left, Brad knew he was on a streak. As he lined up his next shot, he took a moment to consider the position of the 8 ball. It was nestled in an awkward position behind Thomas' balls, but if he could clear a path to it while sinking the last stripe, Brad looked at the sea of balls and knew there was no way for him to mentally calculate every vector. But instinct had gotten him this far, and he wasn't about to stop listening to it now. Brad took the shot. The cue ball knocked the last striped ball into the corner pocket. Then the cue ball bounced off the table, back towards Thomas's cluster of balls. Brad grinned in elation as the cue balls hit a solid, which hit another, and another in a chain reaction that sent the 8 ball heading right towards the corner, just like he'd wanted. It was headed right towards the corner, where there were no balls to intercept it. It was headed right toward the corner, into the pocket. He stopped grinning. Brad knew with a growing dread that the friction of the cloth wouldn't be enough to stop the ball in time. He watched the impending disaster happen in slow motion, powerless to stop it. The game had been going so well. He'd been about to hit a perfect game in front of his childhood hero, and now he was going to lose it in the most inglorious way imaginable. An accidental, illegal combination shot. Brad closed his eyes, but not even God could help him now. He didn't need to see it. The sound of the ball plunking into the pocket was enough. He'd lost the game. Oh no! There's a continuation to this. Okay. What was the longest story out there so far? What the hell? Oh yeah, see, billiards 1. Just like how there was like the fisherman 1 earlier. Pretty neat. Alright. It's like this reading session won't end just yet. So let's just drink a little bit of water. There we go. Keep yourselves hydrated, pals. Please. The expression on Jack's face was expectant when Maddie came out of the kitchen carrying his plate. Expectant, but not impatient. The expression fit his posture, sitting upright with his hands folded and resting in front of him. Your halibut's ready. Jack's eyebrows raised when Maddie set the plate down in front of him. He closed his eyes and lowered his chin just a tad, allowing the scent of grilled fish to waft into his nostrils as he drank in the odor. As several moments passed, a smile crawled into his face, and he grabbed a fork and began cutting the halibut up. He was several mouthfuls in when Maddie spoke up. I thought you weren't gonna eat it.
Couldn't help myself. Smelled too good to not give it a taste. It tasted too good to stop.
Couldn't help but notice the hesitation. Jack held up the fork, which had a piece of the fish speared on it.
You know, a fish like this, you never know what kind of memories it's going to bring up. Not all memories are good, but this fish, it tastes like adventure. Conquest.
You fish much?
You could say that. I made it out on the water several days each year.
Catch any big ones?
Lots, I'm sure, but I'm more of a quantity over size kind of person. The most important weight is your tally at the end of the day. I'm not the patient kind of fisherman.
So where do you learn to be so patient, if not from fishing?
Fishing's the only time I'm not a patient man.
Funny. I tend to hear the opposite from a lot of people.
I take really long vacations.
That's when you fish?
That's when I don't fish.
Ah, you're a fish tradesman.
Better known as a fisherman. But yeah.
You could have led with that, you know.
Didn't I? Well, like I said, I don't get out on the water very often.
And yet, it's your profession. I think that would mean more days in the water.
Such is life in Alaska. Fishing season gets shorter every year.
Ah, of course. Halibut are seasonal. You can only catch them when they migrate. Is that it? It's the kind of business that's only open a few days out of the year thanks to Mother Nature.
Thanks to the government. 1970, halibut season was 150 days long. Then it got shortened to 100 days.
You only work 100 days out of the year?
No, ma'am. 100-day halibut season was before my time. By the time I found myself on that side of the Pacific, we were down to fishing derbies. Actually, that's what got me out there.
Derbies?
All the fish you can catch for 24 hours. They're spaced out. Fishing season is just a few days a year now.
Can you make a living doing that?
You can catch a lot of fish in one day. That's why they had to shorten the season. It doesn't take many skiffs on the water before you have a problem with overfishing. I was sold on the promise of working for several days out of the year and being able to come back home and live the good life the 360 days out of the year that I didn't have to work.
He grinned in a way that suggested he wanted Maddie to prompt further. Did Alaska deliver on that promise? Is America truly a land where the streets are paved with gold?
The streets aren't paved with gold, even though I'm told there's black gold to be found in Alaska. But yes, Alaska did deliver what was promised. I worked several derbies a year, and I made enough to live pretty well. I just skipped the part where I was supposed to come back home.
What's the matter? Did you want to sail back to Australia? Afraid of getting seasick? No, ma'am, said Jack, apparently missing her joke. You met somebody who convinced you to stay. A few someones. You spend some time working a skiff with someone, that's a kind of bond you don't find easily. And it's not the kind of thing you give up easily. The kind of bond working only a few days out of the year? It's intense. It's like being in the line of duty. It's a little like going to war. War against the fishes? War against the sea. When it's all you can catch for 24 hours, you don't have time to be safe. When the day arrives, you're out on the water, no matter the weather. Those skiffs are not large boats. For every 100 fishermen that go out, 997 come back. Firefighters have better odds than that. Soldiers have better odds than that. So yes, it is a bit like going to war. He looked down at the fish in front of him for a moment. There were some times I could swear I could smell death on the water. Every time you pulled up to shore with a boat full of fish and the same number of men you left with, it was a giant middle finger to death's face. In those moments, you never feel more at home. And when you have that kind of experience with someone, you don't fuck off to spend the year in Australia, you know? I'm one of them now. Jack looked around and Maddie realized it was the first moment she'd seen Jack really take notice of the space he was in. His eyes squinted as they scanned the shelves behind her and the people at the tables around him. But I ended up here. I think I always knew I would be here. Sooner or later. He just realized he's dead. A little bit poignant, now ain't it? Alright, and time for the last story. Keep the balance. You're overdue this week. He tapped the list of rules that Maddie kept posted by the door. This 24-hour rule. Are you sure you've been enforcing it? I think how we run things around here is none of your business. Actually, it absolutely is my business. In fact, keeping the rules is basically my only business. That's kind of the word enforcer means. That's kind of what the word enforcer means. I'm supposed to scold you for breaking the rules. So, audit me. Fine. Let me check your ledger. We don't keep a ledger. Maybe you should. Lots of places do. It's a great system. You have someone stand at the door and have them mark down whenever someone comes in or leaves. Then you forcibly evict people who are overstaying their welcome. I'm amazed that you don't have a system like that in this place. A system like that in this place. How do I even read that? No, I can't. Back. Whatever. Some people overstay their welcome. Other people understay it. There's no need to strictly keep track of how long people stay, right? Just maintain the balance. You're right. All that matters is maintaining the balance. So maintain the balance, because when you don't, then we have a problem. We're a bit short-staffed to have someone acting as a full-time doorman. Figure it out. Change 24 hours to 23 hours. When you say 24 hours, people think you just colloquially mean one day, and they don't pay attention to that specific time. When you say 23 hours, people actually have to keep track of what time it is. That would be fine, except for the part where you're cutting time if people stay. Trust me, anyone who would go right up to the limit is going to go over it. 23 hours is going to mean 23 hours plus an extra 5
minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, half hour plus however long it is to finish their drink. And if they leave in less than 24 hours, then who gives a shit?
I give a shit.
And you're right, you should give a shit. In fact, you should celebrate wherever you manage to scooch someone out of here in under 24 hours because the balance is upset and you've got to correct it.
Oh no. I accidentally clicked on it. Where the bouncer can come in here. We can find someone who knows how to manage his property. You turn. Come on, buddy. I don't want to have to take the...
Come on, buddy. I don't want to take this place away from you.
Ugh, that would be quite the escalation.
Well, you're already in the first level of escalation, which is a stern talking to. Let's try not to escalate it any further.
Well, we'll change the rule to 23 hours, okay? Buzz off.
Wow, really? Well, okay then. And while you're rewriting the signs, you should also take the green tea frappuccino off the menu. Fraps should be for coffee, not tea.
Done.
Wait, really? Damn, I didn't realize you were so open to feedback. Also, that caramel...
I'll take it under advisement. Placing a hand on Ned's chest and physically pushing him down towards the door.
Hold up. What are you doing?
Removing an unwanted guest. I need the practice if we're going to start enforcing the rules you care so much about.
Now Look, you could just...
Bye, said Maddie as Ned crossed the threshold out of the cafe and Maddie shut the door in his face. She turned around, leaning her back against the door and sighed. Che raised an eyebrow. You're serious about the rule change? Yeah, I'll change the sign in the menu after we close tonight. Wait, really? The rule change is to just keep him off our back. And the menu thing? I've been meaning to take that off anyway. It's kind of the menu item that attracts the worst sort of people. Well, okay. Though I do think we should change the rule back to 24 hours after things have had enough time to balance out. Of course. Wouldn't want to set the balance too far in the opposite direction. What would we do with all the extra time anyway? Alright. Pretty neat. Alright, let's... Oh, wait. The sign is no longer there. Pretty neat. Oh, look at these little critters. Ashley's journal. Enter doodle mode. What do you mean? Enter doodle mode. Yes. What are we doodling? Oh? I just realized that I think I subconsciously tried to make Ned sound like what is it? You can draw a face for each Ashling. I see. Let's try Kepler. I subconsciously remembered. Okay. Tried making him sound like Pete from, from Mickey Mouse. The Pete from like Mickey Mouse or whatever. I know. Draw a face. There you go. Let's save that. Yes. Yeah, that's your face from now on, Kepler.
But Mickey, but Goofy, we've been friends, right? Gosh, Pete, I don't know. Oh, Goofy. Well, I'm afraid that your son, Max, has been duping you. I don't believe you. Pete. My son, Max, wouldn't do that. No. Well, you can check.
God damn it, I still remember that scene from a particular scene from a Goofy movie. Yeah, it was a Goofy movie. Alright, let's continue, shall we? Thinking about alchemy, yeah. So this is everything from the first break. Let's continue the story, shall we? Yeah, goofy. No, wait, no, not yet, because I want to see their menu. Apples? What is this? I can't zoom in. No. Oh, this wasn't here before. Doodle mode, Ashley's journal. Wait, I could go outside? No, I can't go outside, not yet. Damn it. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's see. Lamington recipe. Hey. Chicken eggs can be mildly foul if electricity is not available. Whale oil mixers can be used instead. The homunculus made with Lamington DNA can be used in lieu of an actual Lamington, but no confirmed tests have been confirmed due to the lack of success in producing actual homunculi, especially homunculi capable of baking. Lamington pay, okay. Beat until smooth. Tips for procuring a Lamington. And we recently departed Lamington, who comes into contract with the 40-60% of vanilla will begin to glow red. What? Note that a 30-70 vanilla coconut mixture will cause them to glow green. Wait, recently departed Lamington? What? Lamingtons have souls? That's new lore. In particular, are otherwise by a red glow, but this is generally discouraged as the effects can persist for several hours and can often be unsettling to guests. Only around 20% of people who claim to be Lamingtons have actual Lamington ancestry, hence the need to test potential candidates. Be particularly skeptical of anyone who claims to be directly ascended from either a lord or lady Lamington. Lamington pretenders uniformly claim to be descended from a former lord, leading to the overwhelming of these claimants being false positives. Most Lamingtons were agricultural workers, so anyone claiming to be descended from a farmer of Lamington is more likely to be credible, but should still be tested to verify authenticity. Am I missing something here? What is going on? Do not bother testing anyone claiming to be descended from the 3rd Baron of Lamington, as Victor Alexander Brisbane William Cochrane Bailey died childless. Gluten-free option: having a Lamington stir self-raising flour into them. Mixture is critical to the synthesis process and will not work with a non-gluten alternative. That feeling when no gluten-free option. Why is everything... Oh, okay. I think everything's glowing red. Oh no. Alright. Crucible product reviews. Spirit-resistant quartz crucibles with self-sealing lids. Product description: each resistant up to 1,650 degrees Celsius. Self-sealing lids from airtight seals around the crucible's ground rim, highly resistant to corruption and spiritual interference. Clear inner and outer covering allow for easy spotting of cracks or imperfections. Qualities suitable for mixing potions and filters. Average rating: 3.5 stars out of 5. Product reviews: 5 out of 5. I love this! The covering, despite being quartz, has a textured appearance that gives it a silky smooth feel to it. Most crucibles feel sterile and cold, but this one makes for a perfect beverage container when entertaining guests. 4 out of 5. The previous crucible set I used was inherited from my grandmother, who brought them over from New England. Unfortunately, 2 months at sea were not kind to her spiritware. Her crucibles were filled with tiny cracks and microfractures that allowed unsightly-looking soot to build up, leaving them stained with hard gray lines everywhere, looking like they were about to crack apart at any moment. She used them for several decades to come, but every time I worked with her and watched them heat up, I was afraid that they were constantly on the verge of shattering. One she used to contain a lost wayward spirit for several days before finding a home for it,
and I would get up at night to check the embers under the crucible, and it always unsettled me seeing how fragile the container was. Several times, Christ, my guy, this is a product review, not a story session. Several times I found myself tempted to tip the crucible over just to see how easily it would shatter under my soft touch. Needless to say, this new set is much nicer. They are sterile, and I can keep several of them in my bedroom without feeling unsettled by their presence. 2 of the crucibles in my set arrived with small chips in them, but I contacted the manufacturer and they replaced them at no charge. The replacements were express shipped and the process was quick and painless. So great customer service, and they offered replacements up to 1 year. For the price, they can't be beat. 4 out of 5. Owned mine for 2 weeks and it didn't crack. Decent for the price. 5 out of 5. Received mine in the mail this morning. Can't wait to try it out. So glad to have finally found someone selling crucibles at a reasonable price. A brand name one costs over $200, which is just outrageous. 1 out of 5. Bought this several weeks ago since it was the cheapest crucible on the site, advertised as spirit resistant. I'm working on a filter for my graduate thesis and purchased 100 of these for lab use. My plan was to monitor 100 different animal spirits over the different types of plant matter and compare how different biomaterials affected their vigor over a 90-day period. First, I set the first 5 with samples of mugroot, feverfew, ginger, ginseng, and golden seal. I placed them in the crucibles over low heat, 80 Celsius, and left them overnight. And over the next 2 days did the same with all of the remaining crucibles, finishing on a Friday and leaving the lab alone for the weekend. When I arrived back on Monday, I knew something was wrong when I noticed a rain cloud hovering over the door. It was not uncommon for rain clouds to appear at any time of year at any time of day in our part of the country, but it's quite another to find a rain cloud localized entirely within the hallway of your research lab. I braced for the worst, but I guess I should have braced harder. Nothing could have prepared me for the smell when I opened the door. I immediately felt my eyes watering and actually found myself choking. It smelled bad. I slammed the door shut and went to the basement to grab one of the emergency respirators we keep down there. Unfortunately, the respirator did little to mask the terrible stench inside the lab. I opened the first crucible and saw that it was filled with tar-like substance, and as I studied its inky black writhing form, I felt the air sucked out of me, almost like it was trying to drag me into the abyss with it. I threw it onto the floor, the container shattered, splattering the floor with the tar-like substance, which began slowly crawling across the room. I grabbed a fire extinguisher from the wall and sprayed the tar until it was completely covered, and heard what sounded like a sputtering noise, followed by a long gasp and a scream that faded into oblivion. My God. After poking at the fire extinguishing spray, whatever was underneath was clearly quenched. I took the remaining crucibles and placed them in the oven and baked them at a temperature of 1600 degrees for several hours. As I sat alone in the lab, contemplating the cruelty of existence and wondering what my academic advisor would have to say about my thesis project. After several hours of waiting, I opened the oven and checked the contents of the crucibles, revealing nothing but ash. My God, whatever it was that had been drawn by the spiritual emissions of my lab work, it was gone from my world, but the memory of that day will haunt me for all the remaining days of my life. 1 out of 5. Do not buy this crucible for spirit-related applications. My wife is one of the product designers who worked on this item. The crucibles on this listing come from a manufacturer called Marsecuri LLC. Back in 2013, they were some of the best hardware you could get for your money, and their reputation among hobbyists is a great value for anyone working on a budget. On 2016, they found a survey that found that fewer than 3% of buyers were actually using the crucibles for spirit-related applications, and decided they would cut costs by removing the spirit-resistant properties. However, they found that products advertised with updated ad copy to reflect this didn't sell as well, so they continued using the old product description with a new product line. Oh God, I don't know how they're getting away with this. Apparently the definitions of what is actually spirit resistant are legally murky, and the number of people affected is small enough that they continue to sell well. Stay far far away from this one and warn anyone you know who might buy an item like this that it does not work as advertised. 5 out of 5. Nice color. So stupid. This is Lazada item comments in a nutshell. Really? Okay. Yeah, I'm glad I decided to look around a bit. Alright. Let's continue, shall we? Yes, continue. I really like how she looks. For real, for real. I don't know, there's just something about her that I find appealing about her design. It's probably the glasses. God damn it. Oh? Day 2, the terminal. Oh? Rise and shine. I don't wanna. You shouldn't waste your last hours on Earth sleeping. Man, I was hoping that I was having a really long, weird dream. Sorry, no such luck. Still having trouble getting my head around it. I totally understand. Want a coffee? Yeah, just something simple. Hipster coffee, coming right up. What's going on downstairs? I didn't even know you had a downstairs. There's something more to this place than meets the eye. Maddie's down there, desperately trying to fix our debt situation. It sounds like she's hosting a cage match or something. Well, not exactly. But she mentioned wanting to do that. There's some wrestler called the Red Comet that she wouldn't stop talking about for a while. And then, because of that, Ashley got obsessed with wrestling for a bit and kept trying to suplex me. Did she manage to? She's tiny. A couple of times, though. It was very humiliating. I can imagine. But to properly answer your question, Maddie's running a gambling ring. Downstairs? All by herself? It's a fairly unconventional one. And by unconventional, you mean... Mortals generally aren't involved. The stakes are higher than usual. Oh. Coffee's ready. Come over and get it. Gambling time. Gambling art. Let's go gambling! No. They gamble for time, among other things. Hey, let me just drink a little bit. You don't sound like you're a huge fan of the idea. No, I'm not. It's undignified. As long as Maddie's not in danger, shouldn't it be fine? The council doesn't like it. They turn a blind eye because we don't cause trouble otherwise. Oh god, wait. But I'd rather not have to worry about bad things coming our way. Because Maddie refuses to approach the problem from a different angle. And by the problem, you mean the debt, yeah? I was pretty drunk, but I think I remember Maddie storming off after Ned turned up. Yeah. I'm a bit worried about her. Wish I could help. You all seem pretty nice. The thought's appreciated. Maddie will figure it out eventually, though, I'm sure. She just needs time. Hey, thanks for the coffee, by the way. I just realized you haven't actually made me pay for a bunch of them. How do you expect to pay for them? Oh, right. Yeah, no cash. If you were feeling particularly capricious, I'd ask you to pay in time. But you're a nice kid, and you need every minute you've got. Nope. Want to head downstairs? I can see your eyes darting to the stairs. I'm not going down, but I'm also not gonna stop you. Yeah, if it's okay. Go on then. I'll stick up around here. Catch you in a bit. Oh, gambling arc, gambling arc. Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it. Aw, dang it. Oh boy. Gamble core, let's go! The stairs that led to the basement were solid and well-worn, with smooth ruts on each step and a handrail that had been polished to a silky sheen through years of use. Keyshawn always liked stairwells. People never lingered in them for too long, and he'd found them to be a good place to catch a breather. He wasn't obsessed with them. That'd be weird, but he definitely appreciated a nice set of stairs. Yeah, so do I. I get what he means. On further reflection, it was probably a little weird. Downstairs, Maddie's audience clamored for blood. From you to me. With the understanding that your remaining moments on this plane are limited, you surrender this time freely, without coercion, as agreed. Contract fulfilled. You're free to go. Phew. That's 3 in a row, you bloodthirsty bastards. The crowd cheered. Maddie was clearly an expert at winding them up into a frenzy. Who's next? The room fell dead silent. Come on, isn't anyone here brave enough to challenge me? Oh god, what is up with my voice? I thought you came here to play with knives, not you pansies. Seriously, anyone? Don't hold out on me. Do I need to pick someone out from the crowd then? Is this what we've come to? Maddie's gaze swept the audience. Keyshawn, good to see you upright. Interested in a game of skill? Oh god, that's how you reel him in. It's not a game of luck, no. It's a game of skill. Me? Yeah, you. Oh, sure? Give me some enthusiasm, my man. Sure. What's the game? 5-finger oh my god. 5-finger fillet. Some of the people in here just call it the knife game. You heard of it? Oh, finally, something I'm good at. Oh? Rise and shine. What the heck? You've got a lot of knives in this place. Tell me about it. Oh? Damn, this thing has some good weight into it. Oh lord, this guy's into knives? Of course, I want to make him compete with an inferior tool. What? Sorry, I was waiting you to segue into calling me an inferior tool. Shit, that was low-hanging fruit, wasn't it? Next time, mate. Sure. Keyshawn did another experimental slash, and this time it made an audible whoosh. The spectators oohed and awed, but this wasn't for them. He knew that he only had one shot to get accustomed to the blade. Oh? You done showing off? Nothing wrong with putting on a little show. Sounds like you're stalling for time. Getting cold feet, perhaps? Not a chance. Let's get started then. You know what you're wagering? Che mentioned something about gambling with time. It's not gambling if it's a game of skill. But that's beside the point. We're both wagering 4 hours. If you win, it comes from the cafe's balance. If I win, it comes from yours. You've got around 16 hours left, in case you weren't keeping track. Shit, only that many? You want a little extra time to play with it? Hell yes. Let's stop wasting it and get this over with. You sure you know what you're getting into? Most people are pretty shy about playing with the time they got left, especially when their tanks are running as empty as yours. Yep, come on. Unless you're getting cold feet. Hardly.
You've got 30 seconds. Smack the timer when you're ready. Oh, come on. Come on. Ooh. The crowd cheered and Keyshawn fed off of their enthusiasm. This is terrifying. Please, pals, do not do this at home. This is an extremely dangerous game. You run the risk of cutting off or losing your fingers. In response, Maddie leaned back and tapped her finger on the table, feigning impatience. He met her eyes, grinned, and continued his performance. His stabbing motion got faster as he went, the point narrowly missing each of his fingers. Stabs strong enough to drive a knife a millimeter or two into the table were good if you wanted to put on a show. And of course, giving the spectators a show was part of the fun. You might be going fast enough to put on a show, but you're not going fast enough to win. How'd I do? 16 sets if I counted correctly. Whoa. I couldn't do 16. That's how many Maddie beat me with. Is she gonna lose? She's gonna kick his ass. Feeling good about the result? Certainly am. Rightio then. Watch closely. Oh, I will. 16. Oh, Jesus Christ. 1, 3, 7, 11, 15. Told you, she's unbeatable. Is it magic? She could cheat if she wanted to. Definitely not, she's just good. Poor guy, he didn't know what he was getting into. Sorry, mate. You beat me fair and square. I'm pretty impressed. I aim to please. I'll be taking those hours now, if you don't mind. Yeah, sure. How does this work? Just like this? You won't feel a thing. Keyshawn felt a brief tightness in his chest. For just a moment, the tip of Maddie's finger burned white hot. Ow! Shit! Sorry, I lied. It's done now, though. My god, this lady's insane. Alright, does anyone else dare to compete with me? Come on, looking for some actual decent opposition here. I'll take any challenge, even if it's chess or something. Any challenge? I challenge you. Oh crap. To get everyone a drink. Rounds on me. Uh-oh. Oh. I didn't realize you were watching. There wasn't anything happening upstairs and I got bored. Right. So, you took some hours from Keyshawn, huh? Yes, I did. Do you feel good about that? Jay, do you? I won them fair and square. He didn't know what he was getting into. There's an obvious power imbalance here that you're exploiting. He knew the rules. That doesn't change anything. You led him to believe that he'd get some extra time. And, barring a miracle on his part, that absolutely wasn't going to happen. Doesn't matter. He's just passing through. A couple hours won't make any difference. Oh no. The tension between these two. My goodness. Maddie! I'm disappointed in you. Our patrons respect us. We need to earn that respect by treating them with respect ourselves. This is not respectful or dignified. Cheating vulnerable passers-through out of their time? We're above that. We're better than that. I don't care whether you think it's dishonest or not. I want you to give that poor man his time back. Don't pout. This is serious.
I feel like a broken record saying this, but while I understand your intentions are good, you can't keep doing these things. It's all for you. If you really want to do this for me, find another way. Nah. This isn't worth it, Maddie. It breaks my heart to see you like this. And I know that you're trying your hardest. But this really, truly is not worth sacrificing your own self-respect over. Everyone here respects you. But you gambling with hours just cheapens that. I'll give the hours back. Shame. I was pretty great with a knife. Still not as good as me. I was pretty close. God damn it, you two. Oh? Hmm? Okay. Man, I really now want to find out more about their relationships. Hey, are they a thing? Loveless. Yes? What form did you have before being reborn? I think I was a crab. Come on, I'm being serious. Ashley wouldn't harvest spirit liquid from a crab. You're assuming an awful lot about how squeamish she is. As far as I can remember, I lived above streets, next to the sky. So a bird, then? No, I'm mixing up the voices. Wings and feathers and such. No, not that. I do remember flying, though. Oh, you were a sugar glider. Describe. Did you eat insects and tree sap and flower nectar? That is familiar. I wonder how Ashley found you that. Could have been anything, really. You mentioned bright lights earlier. Oof. Yeah, I'm thinking you got hit by a car. God damn it. That seems likely. Is that bad? I mean, you're here now, so... Whether you like it or not... Shut up. I am still adjusting. Your sugar glider, no! You poor thing. Goodness me. Look at you, turning into a responsible human being. Hey, you can speak to Keyshawn to access studio mode? Okay, cool beans. Beth. I have Billiards 2, Fisherman 3. Wandering Spirit is pretty neat. Is there anything in the back rooms? No, there is nothing here. How about this? Oh. Ashley's journal. Heck yeah. No, poor crab. Poor crab. He's innocent. Rotten Poppy. Maddie opened an herb jar and sighed as she examined the contents. Rotten. She began pouring them down the sink. I hate poppy seeds, she muttered to himself. I won't tolerate that kind of hate speech here. Too bad the rules aren't yours to make, old man. You should have thought of that before you handed me the keys. I could help you get the keys back. I could help you get the keys back, said Ashley. I got a magnetic grabber that... The keys are a metaphor. Not some kind of magical talisman that grants ownership over an establishment. But there is a magical talisman that grants ownership over the establishment, right? Yeah. It's called a deed, and this deed entitles me to certain
privileges, such as expressing my hatred for poppy seeds. Hate is not good for the soul. Hatred corrupts the soul. Hey, I'm new here, but are you talking literally? Does hatred actually corrupt the soul? No, hatred does not corrupt the soul, nor will poppy seeds, despite being a distant cousin of the bay leaf. Is it? Huh. Poppy seeds are a distant cousin of the bay leaf. That's a new trivia thing over there. It's a good thing, said Che, because Maddie's soul is full of hate. Trust me, I've seen the ultrasound. Once again, as the new guy, I gotta ask, are you talking literally? No, hatred does not show up on an ultrasound. And I assume the thing about bay leaves corrupting the soul is also a metaphor? Oh no, that part was entirely literal. Bay leaves absorb bitterness. You always remove the bay leaf from something before eating it. Bitterness, as in figurative bitterness? I was talking literally in the sense that bay leaves absorb figurative bitterness. But yes, they also absorb literal bitterness. You know, honestly, I've never understood what bay leaves do in recipes. I've seen it being used in adobo, but I've never noticed the difference. Huh. Do they just really absorb bitterness? I'm so confused right now. Just don't absorb a bay leaf into your soul and you'll be fine. How the hell is not the kind of thing that happens accidentally? Are you sure? Because I think I may have accidentally ingested a bay leaf one time. My friend's grandma made this big pot of chili. The soul is not connected to your digestive tract. It's not your gut, so unless you're inhaling your food, it's not going to be a problem. Again, new guy here. Soul, respiratory system. That's a thing? Oh yeah, why do you think people are so into burning herbs and inhaling them? I assumed that was just how, I don't exactly know how cannabis works, but it's like psychoactive. What? No, not that herb. Like people who burn incense. Huh, that's something new. That's why you always have to watch out for when herbs go bad. Someone might accidentally inhale some of them. Yet another reason to hate poppy seeds and their short shelf life. How long does it take for poppy seeds to go bad? These went bad in a matter of months. Matter of months? How many months are we talking here? Maybe 30. 30 months ago is 2.5 years, if I'm not mistaken. You left that jar of poppy seeds for 2.5 years? As I said, a number of months. This does not help. Technically correct. That does not help. 30 is a number. 30 is an injustice. Have you not touched poppy seeds in all this time? People don't actually like poppy seeds. People just like the muffins they come in. If you give them a muffin without the poppy seeds, they'll like it even more. Poppy seeds just make everything worse. People love poppy seeds. Me, for instance, I have a great love for the humble poppy. Really? Then how is it that you've never touched this jar of poppy seeds in the past 30 or so months it's been sitting up on the spice shelf? Che shrugged. I like lots of things. Evidently, during the past 30 months, I've found things I enjoyed more than the humble poppy seed. I'm offended by the idea that you would discriminate against such a lowly and unpretentious food item. You like the idea of poppy seed. My god. You like the idea of an herb that comes in discrete units called seeds, so that you don't have to wonder about how much a sprig is. It's something that you can picture, as opposed to cumin that you wouldn't recognize even if I set it on your tongue. Or rosemary, which you probably forgot was a spice, in which you couldn't tell from thyme. When you see me disposing of poppy seeds, it pains you because it's something you can conceptualize. If I told you that I hate cumin and had to flush a bunch of it down the sink, would you be bothered by it? Probably not. So really, it's not I who am discriminating against the poppy seed. It is you who is discriminating against non-poppy seed spices. There's no reason for us to have poppy seeds anywhere in this cafe. People claim they want them, but you can go years without ever serving up a single poppy seed, and no one will notice its absence. A woman wearing a loose green sweater walked up to the counter. Were you just talking about poppy seeds? Yes. We're all out. Oh, that's too bad. I was hoping you might have a... Don't say muffin, thought Maddie to herself. Don't say anything about poppy seed muffins. A poppy seed muffin. My grandmother was really fond of them. Jay grinned as Maddie tried to avoid cringing. The woman in the green sweater said, they used to be part of a standard muffin trifecta. Chocolate, blueberry, poppy seed. I don't think that's really the trifecta. I always wondered why cafes stopped serving poppy seed muffins. I wonder. It's been so long since I've tasted one. Years, I'm guessing. Yes, it's been years. Oh my god. I love it. It sounds like a very familiar conversation, not gonna lie. Beth, Wandering Spirit. Now I want to read about Ashley's journal too. Alpha Charlie Echo. All of the commentators call this robot Ace, probably because it's so good. It seems biased for them to call one particular robot Ace, but it's obvious how it got this name when it wins all of the time. First, it looks like this bot doesn't have a weapon, it's just designed to be really fast and agile. Then you realize that its entire body is a weapon for ramming into unsuspecting people. This would be a great tactic if you got into a fight when you didn't have a weapon. You don't need a flamethrower or a buzzsaw if you just have a 150 kilogram body and can ram into people really fast. That is very, very scary. This probably wouldn't work very well for me because I don't weigh 150 kilos, and I'm pretty small. But that isn't a problem since I usually carry things that can be used as weapons. Like, I could carry a crowbar, and then if someone tried to attack me, I could take the L end and jam the crowbar under their feet and pull it up and use it to knock them off. They're probably smaller, though I'm probably smaller than people. I'm not sure why it's named Alpha Charlie Echo. I assumed it was a remake or made in the style of a bot called Alpha Charlie. But there aren't any other bots by that name, and the team that made it are all rookies. Also, none of them are named Charlie. Maybe it's named after someone else's dad or brother. The next robot will probably be called Beta Charlie Echo, or maybe Alpha V2 Charlie Echo, or Final 2 Charlie Echo. Thesis, like a thesis paper, naming convention, Final 2. Fisherman, there we go. Jack waited until Maddie left the corner before motioning to Che. Hey. Hey, can I get you something? Jack nodded. Can you get out that whiskey bottle and pour a glass? Che glanced over his shoulder to verify that Maddie wasn't present. Any reason you wouldn't ask her? Afraid of what it might do to me. I wouldn't want her to worry. Should I be worried? Jack shook his head. You don't strike me as a worrier. It's not about... I'm not intending to get drunk. I think if I smell it, that might be enough. You're going somewhere inside of here, said Che, tapping the side of his head. Exactly. And you, well, I can tell from looking at you, you know what it's like to see a friend die. Che smiled grimly. Am I that easy to read? No, but now I know it's true. Don't count her out. She's seen more than you can read on her face. Yeah, but seeing something is not the same as having experienced it.
You know what it means to be experienced in losing friends. It's a feeling that I've grown well acquainted with over the years. I remember the day I found myself preparing for a funeral, not even thinking too hard about what I was doing, almost going on autopilot, till the moment I realized I've done so many of these I can mentally check out at doing this, followed by the feeling of nobody's ever supposed to feel like this, like they're getting good at doing funerals, right? Followed by a feeling of, actually, we all leave this mortal coil at some point, and someone has to be the last one in their group of friends to kick the bucket. And maybe doing well at longevity just means outlasting your friends. Jack's eyes narrow. How old are you? Older than I look. Jack laughed, but it was a forced laugh. Damn, I wish I had that problem. I have the same thing, but in reverse. Jay got the bottle of Jack Daniels out from where Maddie had stowed it and set it in front of Jack before looking for a glass. Jack picked up the bottle and studied the label. You've worked with your hands before. Never worked on a boat before. It's not bad work. Never boring. From the first day I spent out in the water, I knew it was my calling. I even had enough to retire after several years, but by that point I was so wedded to the idea of having my own boat that I kept saving. Did you ever become Captain Jack? One day, I was Captain Jack for one day. It was terrible shit luck. The weather was clear. The water wasn't even that choppy. I guess that's why he got careless. I guess that's why he thought he could try and fix the net when it stuck. At least I assume that's what he was trying to do when he fell overboard. Chase silently set the glass down on the counter, bottom side up. You know what the worst part is? When I realized it had happened, I didn't think. The captain, the one man whose job it is to keep a level head, I didn't think about what I was doing. I just jumped overboard after him. Didn't grab a life ring or anything. Stupid. If you ever find yourself in that position, when you jump overboard, all you're doing is making the problem twice as big. There's nothing I can imagine that compares to the sense of dread and regret that I felt in that moment, as I felt myself sinking below the surface. Can you imagine that? Having that kind of thought. They say that when you're in intense physical pain, it's supposed to block out anything. You can't feel anger or sadness or regret or wistfulness when there's 1,000 needles stabbing you all over, all at once. Which is exactly what it felt like when you jump into that freezing as Alaskan surf. That's when you don't realize about how cold until you're totally immersed in it. You don't feel cold. You feel pain all over. And somehow in the midst of all that pain, it's still possible to think, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that, dumbass. When I leaped over, I guess I imagined myself swimming around in the water, looking for him. And I actually did try opening my eyes. Big mistake. The Pacific Ocean, I'm not sure if you knew this, but it's salt water. And somehow that's even more painful than the thousands of pins and needles stinging you all around, reminding you that the water is freezing and you're not supposed to be in it. You know what the crazy thing is? They managed to fish me out. Terrible pun, sorry. They found me. They threw me a line. Irony is, I almost died of hypothermia there on the deck. Being soaking fucking cold in that cold Arctic wind. You know, hypothermia can kill you almost as fast as drowning can. I didn't even make it to Cal's funeral. Couldn't bear to look his girl in the eye. Nobody blamed me as captain. Cal should have known better than to do what he did. Didn't know better. But all I could think was, What if I hadn't jumped over? If they hadn't been busy pulling my stupid ass out of the water, would they have found Cal? And I knew that if I was thinking it, then she had to be thinking it too. They all had to be thinking it. I couldn't face that. All I could do was sit at home. And every time I walked to the bathroom, I passed the display full of these bottles. Hypothermia can kill you in 5 minutes. Drowning can kill you in 3. Drinking yourself to death, it takes longer than that. But not much longer. I just want to smell it. Jack glanced at what little remained of the halibut Che had grilled for him. Fish didn't do it for you, huh? Jack shook his head. Like I said, smelled too good. Jack held the glass to his nose and inhaled deeply. Yeah, this is the smell I was looking for. There it is. That's the smell that makes me feel sick to my stomach. He stood up. I think I'm ready to go. Oh, shit. Poor guy. Oh, man. Notifications on my phone. What is going on? Man, poor... that's... I suppose everybody has a sad story. A lot of people, at least, have sad stories passing through this cafe. Wait, let me just check my phone. Retrieve you? No. Oh, okay. Nani? Your foundry item is complete. What do you mean by foundry? Oh, I was trying to... okay. Pals, this is totally not Warframe. Trust. Okay. Where am I? What is this? Oh, billiards. Okay. You know, kid, you've got style. Brad perked up. It was the first unsolicited remark he'd heard from Old Man Thomas all night. He'd been expecting a compliment after beating Thomas, but to hear that kind of comment after a loss made him perk right up. Thanks. It wasn't a compliment. And just like that, Brad's mood came crashing down. Thomas continued. All the best players back in the day, none of them had style. Style doesn't win tournaments. Sure. Consistency is what wins tournaments. Drink water. There we go. Consistency doesn't mean anything. That's a symptom of skilled play. It's not a thing you can just decide on. No one sits down at the table thinking, gee, I better be consistent today. Nobody. So if you're not consistent, if you're not thinking about consistency, what are you thinking about? Fundamentals. Thomas chalked the end of his cue. Fundamentals are what matters most, because if you don't get the fundamentals right, all the fancy shit isn't going to matter. Holy crap, these are real words. What the heck? Oh my god, that's a bit too real. Thomas leaned down to line up his cue. The straight-in shot is your specialty. Several opponents told me that exactly that, tongue-in-cheek, thinking that they were insulting me, but I take it as a compliment. If you control the cue ball, you can turn any shot into a chip shot. That's what you want to do. That's how I can still sink them, even at my old age. I know, I've been watching you. Your cue ball control is incredible. You're a very talented player. Not talented. Let me guess. Skilled. Oh, okay. You can do it too. The question is whether you've got the discipline and the patience. Thomas followed through with a stroke and hit the apex of the triangle head on. He sank 2 balls, one striped and one solid. He pointed to the striped one, signifying his choice. I'm plenty disciplined. When I was in high school, I'd come out every day after school and put in at least 4 hours of practice. Sometimes I'd come in after dinner to squeeze in a few hours more. Then on weekends, I'd come and spend all day up here.
Of course you did. All the pros have. Anyone can put in time. At a certain point, what matters can't be the number of hours you put in, because everyone puts in the time. What matters is how you use that time. And it seems like you spent a lot of time practicing trick shots.
Thomas lined up and made several practice strokes. Brad found himself getting annoyed with Thomas. Brad knew better than to try to talk to Thomas while he was lining up a shot. That was bad etiquette. Just bad sportsmanship, plain and simple. But it kept him from offering timely retorts to Thomas's statements. It was bad sportsmanship, Brad decided, to talk at an opponent in a situation where etiquette forbade him from responding. Thomas finally took the shot and sunk a solid colored ball, but a bad bounce put the cue in the pocket with it. Brad sighed with relief as he took the ball, and with it, control of the conversation. Right, it takes a lot of practice. Brad lined up a shot, aiming at one of the balls in the opposite corner. If he could get the angle just right, he took the shot, and the cue ball knocked one of the striped balls into the back left pocket before ricocheting and hitting another ball into the back right pocket. A clean double. Oh, back left, back right. Brad tapped the table with his cue, as if to emphasize the shot he had just made. You don't learn how to do shit like this overnight. That's a nice trick. Now, can you do the same thing 10 times in a row without messing it up? No, it's a hard shot. About a 10%er for most people. But I'm good. I can get it 30, 40%.
A 30% shot isn't worth taking. If I offered you a coin flip bet with a weighted coin, would you take it?
No, of course not.
And yet you take the low percentage shot.
I make it a higher percentage shot, though.
Yes, and I'm sure that... yes, and I'm sure that you look like a big hero by doing it.
Hello, Panda, how are you doing? My goodness, it's been some time since I've seen your, endangered ass over here. Hello, Panda, how you doing? I have you in low volume, don't worry about it. My volume is always low. I have been busy. Haven't we all? How you doing, man? How you doing? My goodness. Well, I sure do hope, though, that you are enjoying tonight. Things aren't too hectic, and you are having a wonderful and relaxing evening for tonight. As relaxing as it can be, at least. Made a questionable choice. Is it deciding to watch a VTuber this late at night?
One calls you on it because defensive shots are boring.
I can play defensively. But you don't win games by playing defensively.
Oh, of course not. There's nothing on the scoreboard that lets you tabulate the places where you denied your opponent a point.
Brad was angry now, and he began lining up his next shot, just so he wouldn't have to hear the old man talk. With my line of work right now, this is early for me. Jesus Christ, my guy. Well then, I hope you have a wonderful day ahead? Question mark? Some players might get tilted in a situation like this, but Brad played better when he was emotional. Whatever it was that made him play better under pressure also made him play better while angry. He couldn't even think about the shots he was making. He was operating on pure instinct and conscious thought. The thought that he was chased away by anger was only a distraction. Brad tried for another double. He missed the second ball, but one was enough to set him up for a triple bank shot, which he followed with another shot that he put spin on. He didn't even need to curve the ball around anything. He just wanted to show Thomas that he could do it reliably. Fortunately, he didn't get punished for it. I joined something at work, which is why I'm at the office right now. I see. Well, good luck with that. I sure do hope that at the office you don't get caught watching VTubers on loudspeaker. On low volume at least, but still, you know. Sure do hope that they don't judge you. His last shot placed one of Thomas's balls between the black 8 and the white cue ball. Brad knew that he could sink the shot easily by hitting Thomas's solid into his stripe. He was on fire. He wanted something flashy. I did a karaoke stream once. I should be fine, right? You'll be alright. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Oh, God. Brad knew that he would risk the shot easily by hitting Thomas's solid into his stripe. Oh, yeah. He struck the cue ball's base, driving the leather tip of his stick into the table, and it bounced the ball up and over Thomas's ball, hitting his own and sending it into the pocket. Brad turned to Thomas with a look of defiance. Looks like the game is mine, old man. Yep. Is that all you have to say? Yep. Oh, how about... Oh, you outplayed me. Do you need me to tell you that? A little acknowledgement would be nice. He was sounding like a petulant child. He was frustrated and angry and disappointed. But knowing all of that about himself didn't make any of it less true. Thomas shrugged. I thought you played to win the game, not for validation. Aw, give me a break. That line coming from a pro. You compete, play to win, sure, but there's money on the line. And the money goes to the person who gets the W. You play to win the game, you get the money, but I get the feeling you're playing for something else. What are you talking about? You play to impress people. That's different from playing to win. That's why you never take the defensive shot. I just won! Yep, but you weren't playing to win. Just because you happen to win doesn't mean you made the right decision. How the hell does that make any sense? Thomas took a coin out of his pocket. Here's a hypothetical. Suppose I have a coin. I ask you to call heads or tails on a $1 bet. Now you know that the coin is weighted. It lands on heads 70% of the time. What do you bet on? Heads, of course. Now I flip the coin. It comes up tails. Bad luck, Brad. You just lost $1. But did you make the right decision? What? Thomas continues. If you had called tails, you would have won the bet. Clearly, calling tails is the wrong decision. But sometimes you make the wrong decision and get short-term payoffs. That's why the fact that you won doesn't necessarily mean that you made the right decision. And sometimes these things only reveal themselves after you've flipped the coin hundreds of times. I've played hundreds of games. And that's as a pro. Practice games, I play 100 games in a week, easy. Maybe 200 a week. And how many times have you made the WBC? I won the WBC! Right, that's the thing about calling tails. Sometimes, even if you make the wrong choice, randomness comes up in your favor, and you happen to run hot. But in the long run, things don't quite pan out. Brad threw his cue down. So now you're saying that my wins were all due to luck? Not all luck. Like you said, it takes some skill to take a 10% shot into a 30%. A lot of skill, in fact. You've got good hands, a good eye for the ball, but the lust for a cool shot supersedes that. You'd rather fail spectacularly than win through boring play. Fuck you! You know what? I actually won the WBC. Maybe I did run hot for just 1 year, but at least I have a championship to my name. You made it to the final 6 times and lost every time. Now, your career is done. You're over with. You'll never be a WBC champion. A title which I hold, by the way. You're right. I don't mean to knock the high variance approach. Maybe that's what you want. To win once and then burn out. Yeah, that's what I want. What have you done with your life since retirement, old man? Ever done anything wild? I bet you have lived more in one night than you have in your entire life. Oh boy, I'm happy with the way I spent my life. No regrets. Can you say the name? There was something in Thomas's eyes as he looked at Brad that made it feel even worse. Thomas's expression wasn't one of antagonism. Can you say the same? It's not the name. Can you say the same? It was one of pity. Brad knew, deep in the pit of his heart, that Thomas wasn't doing it to attack him. And that made it sting even worse. Brad started to say something, but found himself choking on a lump in his throat. And as he reached up and felt wetness on his cheeks, he realized that he was crying. Oh, poor guy. Yeah, I do get the Thomas's approach, right? I feel like, yeah, it is definitely like something that a person who has gone through 1,000 games would understand, that picking the 70% option would be like the smarter choice. It's skill versus luck. Or not completely luck, but it's complete skill versus skill that's accompanied with a little bit of luck. Yeah. I like that story. Pretty neat. So I got 2 more left, and I think since I've been narrating for over 2 hours now, I think that's about it. So let's just continue, shall we? The man standing in front of Beth smirked. The knife he had held seemed almost slight compared to his massive hands, but that didn't make it any less intimidating. No wait, why am I talking like that? Finish this one quick. Came a call from behind the knife holder. 3 men stood behind him, wearing expressions which ranged from amused to bored. Beth felt her palm getting sweaty, loosened her grip on the knife in her right hand, sliding her thumb along the guard to reassure herself that its shape hadn't changed since the moment she'd picked it up. Take your friend's advice, Beth said to the man who was menacing her. Finish this quick. After all, I'm just a little girl. Well, as little as any 15-year-old girl could be. Can do, said the man. He drew his knife up for an overhead swing. The man's movement suggested that he didn't know how to use a knife. Not really. He was swinging the knife like he'd swung a fist. Like he was trying to bludgeon her with it. Like he'd never really used a knife before. He was stupid. Mercifully stupid. She tried to reassure herself of the fact, trying not to lose her resolve. He lunged toward her as he brought the knife down, and Beth raised her left arm. She felt the edge of the knife hit her skin, but the impact of the blow caused the man to lose his grip on the knife. What the hell is going on here? Beth grabbed the attacker's knife arm, pulled him towards her while thrusting her own knife towards him at chest level. She drove the knife into the man's chest with all the force she could muster, and he fell to the ground and gasped as Beth released her grip on him. The man lay on the ground and put a hand to his chest, moaning. Son of a bitch. You okay down there? The man sat up and patted his chest. I didn't expect to lose to a girl. Well, that too, but I didn't expect it to hurt this much. These rubber practice knives are no joke. If I stabbed any harder, I might have broken a rib. You can call me Beth. I'm Kyle. Gotta say, Beth, that was kind of a cheap trick. I mean, the way you blocked my knife with your arm just bounced right off. You wouldn't do that if you were using real knives. He's right. Not really a fair fight with rubber knives. I'd like a rematch. Yeah, rematch. Others began chanting along with him. Rematch, rematch, rematch. A voice thundered from above. I thought I told you guys to keep it down. Everyone spun around to face the stairs leading up to the ground floor. Oh, it was Maddie. Maddie was leaning over the railing of the staircase with a stern look on her face. She tapped a poster on the wall. Beth took a moment to glance at the sign. Fight Club rules. Don't quote Tyler Durden. Seriously, no Tyler Durden quotes. Always assume your opponent is mortal. Practice weapons only. Be considerate to other guests. Keep noise to a reasonable level. We don't have many rules here, said Maddie. Please don't make me kick you out of the basement. Everyone else in the room cast their gaze downwards, looking ashamed with several mumbled apologies. Maddie nodded, climbed back up the stairs, content that she had made her point. Seriously, though, not really a fair fight without real knives. Several whispers erupted from the small crowd. Where'd you get these? I swiped them from upstairs. Not exactly combat gear, but these blades are fit to cut through flesh, whether it's a cooked steak or a human arm. Oh, hello, Bob Martin. Thank you for being here. Appreciates it. I hope you're having a fine evening. Or a morning, wherever you may live. Beth held one of the steak knives by the blade, presenting its handle to Kyle. You've already broken one rule tonight. How about breaking another one? I won't get hurt. I mean, I can still feel the pain, but, you know, I'm not afraid of getting stabbed. Neither am I. But don't say you're ready for this if you're not ready to bleed. She turned the knife over in her hands, pressing her thumb against the tip, just enough to draw a single drop of blood. What in the Fight Club is this? Do I look like I want to be here if I was so afraid to die? Oh god, okay. Alright, kid. What side story is going on in here? Maddie, why do you run? Why do you run a Fight Club? Keyshawn's footsteps echoed in a way that startled him. Were his footsteps always so loud? Perhaps it was just the contrast with the surrounding environment, which seemed to be completely silent. That made his footfall seem so jarringly loud as he walked along the catwalk. He was on a catwalk. Wait, why was he on a catwalk? There seemed to be a gaping space below him, filled with some sort of mist that he couldn't see through. It was fog-like, and yet despite the fog that lapped at his feet, the air felt so dry. The air was thick here. As he breathed heavily, Keyshawn felt an overwhelming sweet, sickly odor, like the smell of wet or rotting wood. But all he could see around him were steel beams and a concrete path in front of him. Was it rust he was smelling? No, he knew the smell of rust. This was different. This was somehow organic, like the smell of a forest after a fresh rainfall. Keyshawn shivered. Far in the distance, he could see what looked like a building of some sort, so far away that it made the structure he was inside feel almost tunnel-like, as if its only purpose was to convey him to that distant building. He continued walking forward. As he walked, the building seemed to be growing more and more distant. He quickened his pace, and as he walked faster, he could feel himself moving through the thick, stifling air. And as he looked down, he could see the texture of the catwalk in front of him, unchanged, as though he were walking in place. Keishan started to turn backward, but he saw only a blinding light. His eyes immediately shut, and when he opened them, he was again facing into the tunnel, with a distant building at the center of his field of view. He tried turning around, but every time he tried to turn his head, his eyes involuntarily shut at the sight of the light, and he was forced to close his eyes or look away, always confronted again with the sight of the small hut when he opened his eyes. His heart pounded violently inside of his chest. The tunnel was so quiet that he could hear his own heartbeat, feel his own pulse inside of his head. Something about this place felt deeply, incredibly wrong. Get back. I have to get back. He tried turning again, and this time found himself unable to even begin rotating his body before his eyes snapped shut, placing him again in a world of darkness until he opened them again, and was confronted by the sight of the small hut in the distance, now looking more far away than ever. I have to get back. Keishan kept facing the building and took a step forward. As he placed his foot on the ground, he felt a gust of wind knock him forward. He let out a yelp of terror. Instinctively, his hands reached for the opposite edges of the catwalk as he fell, trying to steady himself for fear of falling off. The catwalk was wide enough that his body didn't land close enough to the edge for that to have been a risk, and yet, as he looked towards the edge, he felt a growing sense of dread that there was something down there that would capture him if he allowed it to catch even the smallest hold of him. Almost as he thought it, he felt the sensation of something pressing against his legs. He ran forward. The hut ahead of him seemed to grow to no closer as he ran. He ran all the same, running not to reach a destination, but to be away from whatever it was that was behind him. Moments ago, his only thought was an overwhelming desire to turn back, a worry that he was somehow trapped in here. But now, that worry was replaced with an overwhelming sense of dread that propelled him forward. He had been pushed forward by something. Something was behind him. Keishan leaned forward and ran. He was no runner. He often found himself winded when forced to climb more than one flight of stairs, and yet he ran and felt no sense of tiredness holding him back. No need to catch his breath. Maybe it was the thick air here that somehow never allowed him to run out of breath. Maybe it was that the fear of whatever it was behind him was that strong. Keishan felt the air stinging at his eyes as he ran, but now he was running so fast that the thick air felt like a hot wind on his face. Tears began running down his face, but he couldn't find it in him to raise a hand to wipe at his eyes. That would mean slowing his sprint. So he closed his eyes, fully aware that he was running down a catwalk that had no handrail on either side. At this point, he didn't care. He ran and ran. Long after the tears on his face had dried, Keishan realized that he could hear only the sound of his own feet as they struck the catwalk. He couldn't even hear the rush of the wind, even as it seemed to buffet his face. There were no sounds of anyone or anything pursuing him. Perhaps there was no pursuer at all. He allowed himself to open his eyes and looked down. He looked over his shoulder. This time, there was no blinding light, only a distant glow, like the light at the end of a tunnel. In a way, it was the light at the end of a long tunnel, and in observing the dim glow of the distant light, Keishan suddenly realized just how far he had run. He turned around and saw the building right in front of him. It had windows that were covered with the same fog that covered the ground around him. Oh wait, Kishan reached for the door handle. He half expected it to be locked and felt a moment of panic as the handle bowed under the pressure of his hand. Was he ready to face whatever was on the other side of that door? Did he even want to enter? Did he have a choice? What was it that awaited for him inside of this building? Answers? Or more baffling questions? Kishan looked down the tunnel and suddenly felt cold. Whatever this place was, he needed to escape it. The only form of egress that seemed available to him was the door of this building. He leaned on the handle and felt the door swing open. Yeah, I think that's how he ended up here then. Huh. Interesting. Cellar, staff only. Oh. Oh, so that means I'm staff too. Cool beans. Let's go back upstairs. Cafe. Oh, pretty neat. Ta-da! Back here, in the basement. Yippee! Oh, studio mode. Oh, wait. That means that we could take pictures now. Wait. Enter studio mode, yes. Let's take a few pictures, shall we? Oh, goodness. I just realized like how tired my throat is. I've been yapping nonstop for over almost 3 hours now. Holy crap. Alright. I think that kind of means that we're going to be ending the stream soon, pals. A 3-hour stream. I've been talking. No, please. I still have to be in a meeting tomorrow. Oh, hey! Oh, that's so cute. What is this? T-pose. No, not the T-pose. Oh. Eh? Only. And, let's see. Oh, hey. Animation? Rotation? What in the... Scene? Can I pick a scene then? This is a very odd studio mode. I've never seen it. I've never seen a studio mode this way. Huh. What in the... Okay, this I'm too tired to think about this right now. This looks interesting. Oh. So they actually have an animation I don't know, an animation workshop, I guess? Yeah, built into their game. That's rather interesting. Huh. Starts at 9:30 p.m. to wherever. Okay. But yeah. Well, pals, we've done much exploring. I've done much narrating and attempts at voice acting for tonight. And I can now genuinely feel my my throat getting very tired all of a sudden. So you know what, pals? Let me end with this view here. And let's now head on out to the data den, shall we? Ah, there we go. Hey, pals. And let me turn on the BGM for the data den. There we go. Ah,
And I realized that I don't think I've, why is this a thing for Twitch? What the heck? I changed the game to, okay, there we go. No, just chatting. I said just chatting. I switched the category to just chatting from just chatting to NECROBARISTA, and well, nothing happened. And now that I'm about to change it back into just chatting, it's just now that my category has been changed into NECROBARISTA. What the heck, Twitch? This has been happening so many times in the past. I don't get it. But whatever. Anyways, pals. Hey. Sure do hope that all of you have enjoyed my narration. I feel like in the last, 40 or 1 hour, 40 minutes or 1 hour, like my throat has just died. And my brain was no longer processing the words. So my performance was no longer up there at that point. Holy crap, the first billiards story though was really, really long. I was not expecting that. But yeah, whatever. Anyways, as usual, pals, I will try to stream. I won't try to do a second stream this week. I don't know when exactly, but I will try it. I know I've said that, I've said this exact same thing for the past 2 weeks, but real life has been doing real life stuff to me, so who knows? This week, however, I do have a greater reason to want to stream, and it's because this new addiction of mine, this funny thing called Warframe, will be releasing a demo of their latest, of their newest story update, which is Warframe 1999. They're going to be releasing a demo of it, I think, either tomorrow or the day after. It did say it's October 16th, but knowing how time zones work, I think it's going to come around at 17th hour GMT plus 8. So we'll find out soon after that. But yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to streaming it, or at least playing the demo, experiencing the demo live with you, pals. So, if not, then I'm probably just going to be playing Warframe, doing stuff live on stream. So yeah, anyways, pals. Oh god, my throat is dying. So let's end the stream. Let's look for somebody to raid. Twitch.tv. Let's see who is streaming. Nero is streaming. So, you know what? Stream manager, raid stream. Following, and let's raid. Nero, where are you? There you are. Alright. So what's going to be our raid message? Our raid message is going to be NECROBARISTA raid. There we go. It's going to be a raid message. God, my throat hurts. Even just saying all of this is already painful. And is there anything else that I'm missing? Just the usual reminders that pals, please do remember that you are worth it, that you are loved, that everything that you're doing is is going to somewhere, that you are eventually going to succeed and good things are coming your way. And please, pals, do remember to take care of yourselves and to take care of each other. And with all that being said and done, I guess that's about it for me tonight, pals. I'll see you all again. Till next time. Goodbye.